Thanks, and a difficult session post-lunch. So to all the panelists, we have the burden on us to make it interesting so that they don't fall asleep. Uh, as we all know, connectivity and internet has become the backbone, as the minister also said in the morning, for all the development of the country, for anything that we are doing. So it's as it said, the digital superhighway on which all applications, day-to-day activities, our finances, transactions, everything would be running and is running on it. And a lot depends on that. The development, the country's economic growth that we are targeting, everything is running on that backbone. So, but there are a lot of other new technologies that are coming up which is impacting these. And today we are here to discuss the impact of those technologies, how ISPs are adopting to it, how they are adapting to new technologies. And we have a very interesting panel, Ciena, Sujith, who is a technology provider. We have SNS, SPS, Satyaprakash Singh. We have Anand, and we have Singh. So we'll start with an opening question so that everybody is on the same platform. And so just we can start with you, Sujith. Basically, the digital economy is expanding rapidly, and so is the ISP's role becoming more important and crucial by the day in supporting this growth. What, in your views, each of the panel, please be short because we have a timer running. What, in your views, are the top 3 technology shifts that will shape ISPs in India and also across globally? Please.
Check. Very good afternoon to everybody present here, and thank you for the opportunity. So I think the first, the data points are very, very relevant to our economy, and I guess the first data point which becomes very, very relevant is the 900 million fixed broadband users that are there in the market today, and essentially served by about 500 plus named ISPs. And if you further drill it down, you would see that the top 25 ISPs cater to about 60% of the mass. So essentially what this drives you is a point of a certain triangle where the evolution of ISPs to cater to these segments becomes very, very important. And thereby the first trend is how do they evolve? And when you look at the evolution of ISPs, the first thing that they get is, apart from addressing the home broadband users and slightly moving up, you move to the MSME segment, and then you move to a mid-market segment and then an enterprise segment. What is beyond that? I think the one trend which is catching up really big is the cloud providers. So you look at the top 4, 5 hyperscalers that are really bringing revolution of connectivity to the unconnected in the market today, be it name it Amazon or be it Meta, be it Google. I think these are the ones which are driving the next change in the market with their hyperconnectivity into the market and thereby demanding terabits of data. I think there was one interesting fact, Amazon awarded an order to one of the service providers in India for about 200 terabit, and they promised to consume that in 1.5 years, and they consumed it in 3 months. Now you see this explosion is a very, very important trend in the market that's lining up. The second important trend is how do you make user experience much, much easier for users. Now take a simple user who has an internet connectivity at his home, be it a static line or non-static line. His challenge would be that when something goes down, how has the service provider given you an user experience app which helps to troubleshoot and ability to resolve his solution, which means to say that how do you reduce the mean time to repair faster and bring it down by 30-40%. I think that's where things are catching up. These are the top 2-3 things that I would like to mention.
Thank you. SPS?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So, I think very nicely explained about the technological shift in the ISP industry. Let me introduce, already Shubhendu has introduced. I'm Satyaprakash Singh. I'm Chief Operating Officer for a Hinduja Group company called ONEOTT Entertainment Limited. So having almost 20 years plus experience in expanding broadband only. When we are talking about Shubhendu and audience, three major technologies which are going to revolutionize the ISPs in India. Everybody is doing their bit and uh, almost out of 300 million homes, we have only 42 million fixed broadband connections, right, today. So, which is hardly, even not even 15%. If you talk about India, obviously, penetration in urban areas is very high compared to the urban or rural areas. So, one is technological shift we are talking about, the 5G and FTTH expansion, basically, and government is also doing a lot of work through BharatNet and many private players. We are also working on this, and many places we are, rather than depending on a thin pipe, we are rolling out our own network on fiber, which can carry data, and you need only to change the hardware to increase the capacity. So one is obviously fiber to 5G and fiber to the home. Second, I see one very important aspect where it's not only high speed today, right? People, that days are over now, those days are, because we have been talking about high speed for the last 10 years. Now people are expecting too many things. Customers are very aware today. And so many options available today. Means it's not that there is a monopoly for only some big players and others are not. There are even Class B, Class C internet service providers who are very serious about their service and quality. So customers' expectations are not only high speed, but they are looking for a good quality, high-speed broadband service where people listen them, service provider listen them, responsiveness is fast, and how do you serve them proactively? So virtualization is the key today with the help of AI, growing demand and artificial intelligence is definitely helping. So NFV is the important factor which is going to change the shift. Another important thing, I think my friend will not like, some people may not like, but rather than traditional investment doing in building capacity, many ISPs have started changing the media and using cloud services also, you mentioned already. There also hardware is required, but not the way you need to lay a passive and active network in the ground to create access network. So these are the key technologies I see, Shubhendu, which are key factors going to a paradigm shift for the ISP teams.
Thanks a lot. Anand, 3 points, 3 technologies.
So, good afternoon, everybody. And this is Anand Singh Chandel from RailTel. So, I would say instead of technology, the architecture, how broadband is going to be served, that is more important today. Because there is a broadband provider, backhaul is available right now. Middle mile is missing and last mile is missing a lot. So these two, we need to fill the gap in middle mile and the last mile. See, the mobile consumer consumes around 20 GB per month, whereas broadband user consumes approximately 300 GB per month in India, and whereas the figure is more or maybe double in USA and Korea, South Korea. So we should consider the fact that if we will increase the number of broadband subscriber, FTTH subscriber, then the data consumption is going to be more. It is going to be multifold. So whatever we are seeing today, it has to grow multifold, which is imminent, because the total out of total internet users, only 5 to 6% are the broadband user or the wired network, whereas 93-94% are the wireless users. So to fill this gap, we need more content provider, more internet exchanges into the smaller cities, and survival of the smaller ISPs. Today, all these things are available with the bigger ISPs, whereas for surviving the smaller ISPs, you need content network and CDN and the internet exchanges. So building these will help us to grow the penetration more in India. That's it. I think I still with the architecture, because technology is going to be changed rapidly. Today it is something, tomorrow something, satellite will also play its role. But the architecture, what we are going to use, will play the major role in the penetration of broadband.
Understood.
Thank you.
Dr. Gupta.
Yeah, thank you, Shubhendu. Good afternoon, everyone. Let me first thank the organizer, COI and Voice&Data, to give me this opportunity among the experts. And Shubhendu, as you have asked for 3 technologies, my colleagues have already mentioned, but I'll also give my perspective of these 3 technologies, keeping in mind that ISP is mainly a last mile operator, helping the telcos to extend their reach to the lower layer actually. In that, the first technology which comes to my mind is Wi-Fi actually. Wi-Fi, as you know, the world's 70% of the traffic actually has to touch Wi-Fi. And the ISP can really make use of that. And there are different technologies of innovation happening in Wi-Fi. We are in the Wi-Fi 5 era. Wi-Fi 6 is coming, 6E, then 7. It is also going along with the LTE actually. So that is one. In addition to Wi-Fi, now we have a new avatar of Wi-Fi. We call it a green avatar of Wi-Fi. That is called Li-Fi, the light fidelity. And it is an Indian innovation as well as an Indian product. So you can also use Li-Fi in some places in addition to Wi-Fi actually. Both the technology don't need any license spectrum. So that is the starting point of any technology according to me in the practical manner actually. The second technology which I like to bring to the table is what they call new internet. The new internet is the next generation or version of the internet. It is also called IPv6. We are in the IPv4 era now, and the addresses are more or less exhausted what were there in the V4. Now new players have to make use of V6. The beauty of V6 version 6, which is also called new internet, is that it has almost infinite number of addresses. Each user can have an address. Actually, now what is happening to the ISP, when they get a customer, they don't give him a dedicated address. If they don't give him a dedicated address, he is unsecured actually, because there is a security issue when you talk of internet, when you talk of ISP, or when you talk of Wi-Fi. But the security aspect can be well taken care of if the version of internet protocol used is version 6, which have a IPsec. Security is already built in there. WPA is there. In addition to that, each user can create its own VPN. Actually, during COVID day, that is what we did. Actually, as for the, if you want to work from home, and if you are working as a OSP, so you have to have a lease line, which was not there in all the homes. So what you can do is, or you need a VPN. So VPN can be created either by the service provider or by the customer itself if he has a dedicated IP address, which was not possible in V4, but some V6 were there. Luckily, in our case, the government is giving IPv6 address free of cost Our is the only country where some resource is given free of cost in the world. That is why we are the world highest V6 users in the world. So that is second. The third technology, and that as Mr. Anand, RailTel have mentioned about the architecture, the third technology which was alluded to TRA chairman also, I like to call that PM Mani as a technology, though it is a architecture. PM Mani is Prime Minister Wi-Fi Access Network Interface, which is an Indian innovation. I call it a first telecom product developed, designed and worked in India. It is like UPI of finance. PM Mani is exactly like UPI of finance. It can do wonders. That is the technology which have to be used. Some of the players are struggling. Yesterday only TRI have helped them actually. This PM Mani access network interface is actually totally deregulated, totally disaggregated, totally, you can say, unregulated actually. Even no AGR you have to pay. If an ISP is using PM Mani as the interface in the last mile, he need not to pay a license fee. In fact, he need not take a license. Only thing is the telco, he become an extended arm of the telco, like I myself is running a startup based on that partnership with the telcos only. So that technology, if you use, government is supporting it. Prime Minister's name is there. And it can make more than cost of the internet lower. It can make it self-programming kind of thing. It can make interoperability, like your Wi-Fi from one hotspot when you go to other hotspot. So there is, again, you have to relog, what they call, validate. So here it is automatic actually, it is called open roaming. So if we can make use of these three technologies, Wi-Fi oblique Li-Fi, IPv6 and PM Mani, I think a lot of the problems can be solved and we can grow. And our broadband, like it was mentioned very clearly, actually our ISP, they should not concentrate on the mobile side. Mobile is well done by the telcos. There is no need of a mobile internet separately given by a ISP. ISP should concentrate where the telcos have not reached, where the unconnected people are there. The villages, they should target the fixed market. They should go to villages. The morning, Minister Saab was mentioning about 270,000 villages will get connected. Will get connected. That means they are not connected. Actually, only 2 lakhs are connected. But we have 6.5 lakh villages. Nobody is talking about that 4.5 lakh village. They are telling 99% connectivity is there. That is, yes, connectivity is there, but for voice. If you talk about data connectivity, still 500 million of our population is still unconnected with the data. They are mainly in villages. Nobody is talking about them. Even the big BharatNet project is also stopping at 2.70 Gram Panchayat. Even Minister himself mentioned this in the morning. So with this, if our ISP brothers can concentrate on this fixed line part of it, rural part of it, then I think the telcos will also support them because they are bridging the missing thing. They should not try to compete with the mobile internet. Mobile internet is being well served by telco. They are expert. They are using latest technology. What we ISPs have to do it, go beyond that in the rural area, remote areas, and increase on the fixed line side of it, not the mobile side of this. This is a missing link because wherever ISPs are there, they will go where TSP is already there. How you can compete with a TSP from whom you have to take backhaul and then distribute it further? He can do it more efficiently than you. Thank you, sir.
I'll stop you here, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So, but thanks for steering the discussion towards the rural connectivity and last mile, which is a critical component of the theme that we are talking about, empowering Viksit Bharat. And I would come to SPS on this, and as we know, we have the middle miles, and you guys are playing a lot of good role in last mile. So, how, what are you doing to ensuring, the scalability at the last mile connectivity?
Yeah, so I think Dr. Hessan also raised this point, and obviously even you use all the technology, new technologies, AI, everything, but if you are not able to connect people, the people who are unconnected or where less connectivity is there, it's important for Digital Bharat Mission, right, which is the theme of the event. What we are doing as a company, I'll tell you, Shubhendu, one is definitely creating fiber backhaul, right? So that, as sir was saying, that why to promote mobile data, right? So because these guys are, though I do not agree that they are doing very well, but I'm sorry, there are a lot of dark spots also, right? So, but we are creating backhauls, and backhaul is going to support heavy data consumption, fiber backhaul, and on creating FTTH buildings, and then using Wi-Fi network, which covers larger portion of the population rather than getting into one home. And so one doing FTTH, using that fiber, creating fiber Wi-Fi network to cater more bigger audience. Dr. Essen was giving example of PM Wani. We have been using through some of the partners. Also, we have done a very unique partnership with a lot of ISPs, internet service providers, to use their infrastructure sharing, rather, I would say. So the people, they have infrastructure, but they cannot expand because of some or other reasons, right? So as a national company, we are supporting them and using their infrastructure. They are using our infrastructure. So that kind of activity also we are doing, which is helping us, which has helped rather reaching us to 4,500 PIN codes, right? And in few cities, almost 50% cities, we have not invested in passive infra, creating fiber network, but we have tied up with somebody, a local partner there, who is having already infrastructure network, and we are using. And another is using AI tools, Shubhendu. Basically, how fast you can connect the customer, how fast you can troubleshoot, how fast proactively you can come to know that there is a problem which can happen anytime and trouble the customers, right? And we have implemented already, that is called ACS. Many people may be knowing and using TR069, which helps us to reach to the customer. Even remotely, you can solve the problem. 70–80% problem you can resolve. So these are the tools and technologies we are using, Shubhendu. So this is helping us scaling, reaching to the larger audience, right? One more point was important that our panelist was talking about. Reaching to rural areas. So I think government is doing a lot of activity, but a lot needs to be done, right? So that, because this has become a game of larger ISPs only or telcos only. To reach a rural area, you need a lot of investment, right? Laying fiber, towers for wireless connectivity, which may not support the required bandwidth, data consumption. So I think with the BharatNet 2 phase 3, BharatNet phase 3, this will enable a lot of ISPs also to reach to the rural areas also, right? So hope I've been able to address.
Thanks a lot. Anand, we have always been intrigued with what RailTel has been doing. It has a unique advantage with the extensive fiber network. So how is RailTel leveraging new age technologies and cutting edge technologies to improve services?
See, we have around 60,000 route kilometer fiber in the country and more than 60 plus thousand kilometer, and we have more than 1,000 partners, 6,000, 10,000 partners in the rural areas or semi-urban areas. With partnering with those partners, we are serving our retail users. And we have also Wi-Fi in 6,000 plus railway station. And these are also serving the rural household or rural users in both broadband as well as through Wi-Fi. So what I see is that the broadband has to be subsidized in the rural areas. And I think that, and government is still not subsidizing, even Wi-Fi is not being subsidized, and broadband in rural is also not being subsidized. Otherwise, in the railway station alone, we have around 1 lakh villages in the periphery of 5 kilometer, which are 5 kilometer from the railway station. If this station can be used as a hub and the villages around it can be served using the railway station where I have bandwidth, power, reliable power, and other tier 2 stations, we are coming up with the edge data centers. So these places, around 100 edge data centers. So these places can have internet exchanges. So this ecosystem can help us to increase the rural broadband penetration and serve the unserved population or serve the unconnected rural population to bridge the digital divide, what I mentioned in my previous discussion also. So by this we are serving around 5.7 lakhs broadband users right now. And I think with this 10,000 partners, we are increasing more this year, and we hope to connect 1 million users by maybe next two years.
Thanks. I'll go back to Sujith. Sujith, network scalability and resilience are key for ISPs to manage their growth and data demands. So what are some of the latest advancements in optical and IP networking that is changing this or are impacting this?
Building a future state architecture is really, really important. I'm sure all my colleagues here will agree, from what you are to what you want to be. So in this regard, I think when you build a future state architecture, I think there are 3 components which become really, really important, whether you build an optical network or you build an IP-based network. So the first important thing is the speed. Right, I think we do have technologies today which can reach 1.6 terabit line rate. We do have technologies which work on 3 nanometer technology versus a typical 5 to 7 nanometer technology. Now what this defines is your ability to reduce your power requirements by 50% and your space requirement by 50%. Now, what this means is you're also not only bringing down the total cost of ownership of your architecture, but you're also impacting sustainability in a big way. This is one of the important things that organizations should look at, and Ciena being a world leader in this space, the thought leadership that we bring on the table is how do we look at a technology which is at least 5 to 10 years, and when ISPs embark on a technology, how would they become relevant? The second side to the IP part of the technology is how do you use IP routers to get to minimum of 200 to 300 kilometers instead of putting a DWDM technology. I think we have an innovation that we've built, Ciena has built in that space, so that could be leveraged in a big way. The third most important thing is your ability to bring in visibility through either the tools and technologies that you have. So anybody who is looking at the next generation should have an NMS-based tools or technologies which can help them automate. Now, automate to an extent of saying, let's say there is a fiber cut. Now, what kind of visibility do I have? See, we cannot expect any ISP to use one vendor today. I'm sure you agree. I mean, we would have all evolved. you would have bought an X OEM, a Y OEM, and a Z OEM. So you should have a platform which should be able to sniff and bring about the inventory, the visibility, the ability to find where the problem is so that the user is not affected. The fourth important thing which becomes very, very important for ISPs is how do I grow as a business? I think one of the things which we have revolutionized is how do we make optical as a service and IP as a service? So in the sense with a lot of partnerships that we bring in the market today, we help businesses look at optical as a technology. I think you alluded to this point of why buy hardware, right? So I think as a service is an opportunity which is available today, which can really impact your total cost of ownership. And the standpoint of how do we help you in micro verticals is very, very important. For example, one of the things is about how do you have solutions like a low latency solution, which an ISP can take to a vertical like high frequency trading vertical, right? Similarly on healthcare, similarly somebody wants to talk to an agrarian economy. And I think Gupta ji said about how do we reach a technology to the villages, right? I think today BharatNet has reached, but I guess one of the things that it really needs support is you have a PON technology which is used in the last mile, but for example, that gets consumed. For example, I bought 10G, now that gets consumed. How will you replace it? It's not easy. It's very expensive. So there are some technologies called as XGS PON, which is available, which is like a plug, which can go into any OLT endpoint, which can be put, and this can enhance your capacity by 10 times. So there are a lot of trends which are there, which any ISP can look up to, and we can change these transformative business models that are evolving.
Thank you, Sujith. Since the time is running out, I'll quickly go to the summing up question. So looking ahead to 2030, what are the two important strategies? Each one of you, please mention that ISPs need to keep ahead and maintain their growth. You can start with Dr.
Yeah, thank you, Shubhendu.
And it's less than 1 minute per
Yeah, thank you. And two strategy, actually, like technology-wise, we have already discussed. So it is about the business side. We need some innovation on the business model itself. First thing I can suggest is that as ISP, we should never try to replicate or compete with the telcos, because they are also ISP, they are our big brothers. You should help them, you should complement them. That should be a strategy of ISP. Never try to compete with a telco. Just try to co-opetition with them, complement with them. That is one. Second, try to solve a national problem, that is connecting the unconnected in rural area, or you basically, and the missing link is the fixed line broadband. So just because morning also, Minister Saab also mentioned, out of 25 crore households, only 3 crore households have the broadband connectivity, only 3%. Only 3 means percentage maybe 20. So that is where is the role of the ISPs. Just tap those villages, hopes. And the second thing, of course, is I can bring this PM money and other than the subsidy. What we should also tap a strategy called social enterprise, social business. So you should try to make use of the CSR funds. When you go to villages and you need subsidy is not coming. Go to the CSR.
Dr. Gupta.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you made 3 points actually.
Sorry for telling one more thing, which is close to my heart.
See, I will say it in just one line. We need to keep on working on innovation so that we can reduce the per GB cost. That should be I think that is where each one of ISP work. So reducing the cost and making the business viable. These two things are the key for survival of any ISP. Thank you.
Thank you. SPS.
Okay, so first I would request COAI and Voice&Data to allocate some more time next time for the internet business, because it's very important and critical topic where a lot of brainstorming and thinking is required, and action is also required. With the country's vision, Prime Minister's vision of driving digital India, and economic growth will come, 3 trillion, 4 trillion will only come when everybody is digitized and people are using digital platforms. And for that, connectivity is important. So, I'll tell you, many ISPs, smaller internet service providers have started using, leveraging each other's network by infrastructure sharing, so that everybody will not need to invest in the infra. I'm having a network in some place, somebody is having network in other area, and if you have customer in that area, you can share some revenues there. So that is one. And third is automation is also automation is very important today, and a lot of AI tools are available which can help, because important is retention of the customer, right? If customer is there, then whatever planning strategy you do will work, right? So important to retain the customers, and this can happen only with proactive service approach. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Last word from you, Sujith.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll keep it the best to the last. So I think any enterprise works on two important economics. The unit economics that everybody talks about. One is either you increase your efficiency or you reduce cost. That's how businesses have thrived over generations, from our ancient way business were run to today modern age enterprise. So if you keep these two things in mind, adoption of the technology, with innovative business models that you ask the creators of technology is very, very important. So ask them for business models which can help you either reduce your cost or increase your efficiency. Now, whether you want to use automation, you want to use AI, is all left to us, but challenge them, right? So I think when you bring this camaraderie, I think there is a better world to thrive, and we will all make a great impact in the society. And lastly, I want to thank COI for this wonderful opportunity, and my dear colleagues here.
Thank you very much, all the panelists, and thanks the delegates and the other speakers who have been waiting patiently and for bearing with us. And of course, we had a lot more to discuss, and I'm assuring you guys that we'll take this up next time, next forum, certainly. Thank you.